Morning, it's the Saints man here, small van driver on the CX, and it's Friday morning, 16th of the book. Yep, I'm doing it now. This is a week in the life of now because I'm not working today because I'm going on holiday tomorrow, as the title of the video is, the week before our holiday. Yep, we leave tomorrow morning. Got a lot to sort out today. Um, yeah, we're off to France and Spain on the bike, on the big Pan European. Me and my wife, my best mate and his wife on their bike. And we catch the ferry tomorrow evening from Portsmouth. And then we're going down the west coast of France, across to Carcassonne, down to Carcassonne, stay there a couple of days, across to Spain and up the Pyrenees on the N260 all the way to Santander. And we don't come back until Monday, 3rd of July, sort of Sunday night, Monday morning, start back to work on Tuesday the 4th. Anyway, enough of that. Back to last week. Well, this week. Yes, this week. Yeah, had a really good week. Yeah, it topped off yesterday. Yesterday was a really good day for me. We'll come to that in a minute. But yeah, start on the Monday. I did a job from Milton Keynes to Corby, which was I'd got booked in on the Friday. Small job, well paid. Um, it was pick up at, let me think, 6 o'clock. Yeah, pick up at 6 o'clock. Got it all delivered. Had quite a wait. I delivered to Corby then, and it was a pallet, a full pallet. And then I delivered, and then I had quite a wait in Corby. It was about 8 o'clock, and there wasn't a lot happening. And there was a job that I've done a fair few times from Northampton to Swindon. Don't know if this company, or I don't know, 10 times, 12 times. And they pay good money on it. It's good money if you're in Northampton. When you're in Corby, 25 mile away, it's not such good money. But I phoned up and I did it for the same price. I just lost the 25 miles because I've done it before and they've been really good to me. I'm sure they'll probably get cheaper quotes, but they know I do it and they did it right. God, my hay fever in this eye is really poor, but it's all I can't see out of anyway. So, yeah, we did that to Swindon and got a job quite quick actually. And I'd got to get home because I got hay fever jab, which I had Monday in Kettering at 6:15. And luckily there was a job on there, and I had to swallow some dead miles from Wootton under Edge, which was about 25 miles from Swindon, and that took me to Silverstone, which was fantastic, just outside Toaster. So it meant I got back. So Monday was a good day because I was restricted. I had to get back and have this jab. 6:15, which I did. I got back easy for it. Come through a torrential downpour. Absolutely hammered down a range just before I dropped it off in Silverstone. Really torrential downpour, electric, lightning, everything. But we done that. Got the jab, and also I've got a job for Tuesday, which is one I do quite regular, and it's from Northampton pickup, and it's pickup 7 o'clock going to Chelmsford, Cambridge, and Bluewater, and I do it quite a lot. I know what price it is on it, and mostly they gave me it. They sometimes get someone quite cheaper and they go with that, but I think they just look at it and think that's good enough. They make their profit on it, so they give it to me. And I got to Bluewater on the Tuesday, and I just wanted a smallish job to get me home. I thought I'll do a long job and stay out, but I'd rather sort of get home. And I did. I got a small job, but it was not home. It was from Tunbridge, and it went into E10, which is Leighton. Never been there before. Really pretty area. It's regenerated east side of London, and it's really pretty area. And where I went was really nice. And I took one lamp, table lamp, not table lamp, a floor lamp. It was 5 foot high, very fragile, bespoke, and it went to an art gallery. And yeah, the way it was wrapped up, and I wrapped it in blankets, it was expensive. Certainly something I wouldn't buy, but there we go. But that took me to East 10 Leighton, and I got the money for the day. I was over target, and I couldn't get no more jobs, and I thought I'm just going to trundle home, and I did. I trundled home 75 mile, which is not brilliant, but I just thought, you know what? It's a week before I go away. I'll just crack on and get home. But before I got home, I pulled in South Mims services for toilet and that, and there was a job on the next day from Milton Keynes, and it was pick up at 7, and it was going to Gateshead and then on to Edinburgh. And it was with a shipper that I know really well, and I put good money on it. Well, good money. And I thought if I get that up to Edinburgh, hopefully Wednesday I'll get a job back Thursday or somewhere back, but get good enough money on it going up. And yeah, I put money on it, and shipper phoned me and says, "You okay to do that?" I went, "Yep." So I drove back Tuesday, and then Wednesday started off, and I picked it up 7:15, 7:50, and it was 2 boxes, and it was 1 box to the Metro Centre in Newcastle, and 1 box to the big shopping centre right in EH1 in Edinburgh. So that was Thursday. That was Wednesday. So pick the boxes up Wednesday from Milton Keynes up to Gateshead, the Metro Centre. Pig of a place to find. UPS driver, I don't know who you were, Geordie accent, but thanks for your directions. He said, he did me a map on the back of the POD. And even with a map, it was difficult. And the service yard was really small. No signage of what companies were there. Nowhere near where the front of the shop was. But brilliant. If it hadn't been for him, I think I'd still be there. So we got that delivered up to Edinburgh and got that delivered, and I was done by 4 o'clock. So I was obviously tramping. I was looking for jobs. I would have done. I would have done the jobs. And funny enough, there was a job on there from Edinburgh to Liverpool, which I thought, well, I'll quote on that. And I quoted lowish. I tell you what I quoted. I quoted 65 pence. I thought if it gets me to Liverpool, I'll do it tonight. And I'll get there probably be about 11 o'clock. But then I'm just looking for one little job, Liverpool home Thursday, because I knew I was finishing Thursday, and didn't get it. And I was only a mile from it. I checked who was nearby. There was 3 drivers in short wheelbase, or there was one in a midi van like mine. So they obviously were desperate to get home, and they quoted less than 65, which is pretty common out of Scotland. If you go up for Scotland, you go up with good money, so you can quote on money to get home, because you ain't going to get it, I don't think. So it was a beautiful day. So I park in South Queensferry. There's a park for night in South Queensferry. It's quite bustly at night, but it's a great area. There's 3 pubs. There's a chip shop up the road. Brilliant parking, overlooking the estuary. Yes, you've got the 4th rail bridge and the trains trundle over up until 11 o'clock, but that don't bother me. It's just I love it. I love it there. Brilliant walks. So decided I wasn't going to get nothing then. I went to Morrison's to get some grub for the next day, and there's a swimming pool right near Morrison's in Pilton Road, and it's a leisure centre, begins with an A. Anyone who lives in Edinburgh, anyone who knows this channel or follows it from there, you know which one it is. I think it's Pilton Road. There's a big Morrison's on the corner and the leisure centre just down the road, which I use. I've used it about 4 times now, and I go swimming. Reason I go swimming, I've been sitting in a van all day. I'm not a particularly good swimmer, don't get me wrong, but I do 30, 35 lengths. And B, I get a really good shower. So I've showered. And what I do, I settle my bed up in the back of the van, then go swimming, shower, I've got my food, go to my park for night, which is about 7 miles away in Queensferry, and I treat myself to a sausage supper, which, let me tell you, fills everybody up. 2 massage, battered sausage, masses of chips. You can feed a bloody army. And it's six quid, £6.50. And I've got my kettle on. Lovely. But before that happened, before I went swimming even, there was a job on there in the morning from Bathgate to Carlisle. Not ideal. I'd further south. I quoted on 2 to London, which I didn't really want because it was just going to make it a long day Thursday. But I phoned the Carlisle one up, and I thought, let's see what price. And it was 115 miles. And I says, can you do it for 78? That's pretty much my last. He said, yep, brilliant. He said, I'll send that over to you right now. And it was a 7 o'clock pickup. So I thought, if I just get that, even if it's Carlisle, I get nothing else, I'm just going to drive home because I've got my money coming up. And that'll do. So I've got my job for the morning, which makes the evening better. You haven't got to sit there scratching thinking, what am I going to do Thursday? Because I was coming home. And yeah, um, I then I phoned my wife, and she was having a camera put down just to check she got a might have had a hernia. So that was meant to be on the Friday. They brought it forward to Thursday, so I was going to get home Thursday night to make sure she was all right. So anyway, parked at Queen's Ferry. So brilliant. Had a really good night. Loads of bikers around. It's a real bikers place. Had a chat with loads of bikers. Really good chat actually. And yeah, got into my bed about 10:30, and it was still light. Crazy, incredible, but it was still light. And I slept like a log. And I set my alarm for 5 because I wanted to get up, get sorted, get a bit of breakfast. I've now get porridge now in the little pots. They cost £1 for Morrison's. You add water in them, you got yourself breakfast. And I've got a kettle and made myself a cup of tea. And it was a gorgeous morning. I mean, you couldn't get no better. That's the best part of a night scenario you can have. You wake up, it's not cold, you've slept well, you've got a beautiful view over the estuary, and you got yourself breakfast. So to me, that's great. Anyway, goes to the job, picked it up, and it was a heater. It was electric heater. Uh, it has a gas bottle with it, but it hadn't got the gas bottle with it. It was just a heater. The gas bottle the guys had got, and I was meeting engineers in Carlisle, well, outside Carlisle actually. It was about 12 miles away, uh, by the Solworth Firth or something like that. And there's 14 transmitters, and they were going to be there. So that's what we're doing. So yeah, picked it up Friday, picked it up Thursday. Made my way, got out of along the M8, got M74, got out of it before the traffic hit Glasgow, and what a drive! It's a lovely drive. Neil from Neptune's, that drive down to England, you must love it to start with, and once you get down towards Manchester, it goes tits up. But the drive up that, even that motorway, all through the between the mountains and all that, yeah, it's just when the weather's like that as well. Anyway, I set my future journeys on the CX app to Carlisle. Said I was going to be there at 9, which I was. So I was going to be at 9, and off we went. And I got about halfway there, 50 miles to go, and my app pinged. There was a couple of jobs from Glasgow to Edinburgh, kept pinging up, and then a job pinged up, and I didn't recognise the town, but I recognised it was going to Daventry. And I thought, shit, have I missed a job out of Scotland to go to Daventry, right near where I live? And it was a CA7 postcode. I thought, CA7? And I was going to CA7. Incredible. And the pickup was between 9 and 10. And I thought, you could make, it's like nothing comes out of Carlisle. So I had a complete fluke. And it was a Northampton shipper. It was, well, yeah, it's a shipper out of Northampton, well, Wellingborough. And I put a quote, I thought, I've got a quote on this. I thought, I got to. And I thought I could be greedy if there's, cause I didn't know how many drivers were in Carlisle. I could be really greedy and put a big quote in. But if I didn't get it, I'd be gutted. So I ended up putting a lowish quote. I'm not going to lie. I put in a quote of 65 pence a mile because I'm going home anyway. I'm going home. I'd rather go home at 65p a mile than no pence a mile. Put a quote in at 65p a mile. It says e-quote only, but I thought I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to phone up. And it's about 5. I was thinking, I thought, you know what? I really want this job. And it sat on there. I thought, come on, either give me the job or I'm going to phone and see. And I was even prepared to go to 60p. Not going to lie, because if I'm going past the bloody Daventry to get to Northampton. Um, and I phoned up, and as I phoned, my phone went. If you see what I mean, I didn't get a chance to push the number, and it was from David, who is the shipper. And sure enough, he said, "Yep, that's brilliant." He says he picked it up from an engineer, and I'm thinking, can't be the same place, surely. And it wasn't. It was 6 mile down the road, but it was in a village, and it was again from a mast. And I was picking up stuff that they took up there, surplus, and there were motors, quite heavy motors, and various couple of bits that they take up. If they don't use, they take back to the head office, which is in Daventry. So it's brilliant. And I said, look, I'm going to drop off in CA7 at 9, meet an engineer, and then I can go across, pick yours up. And he said, brilliant. Well, as it transpired, I phoned the engineers up with the first job, so I'm happy as Larry now. I've got a job home. I've got a job home. I'm getting paid all the way home. I got the first job, and I phoned where I went to pick it up from, the customer. He said, "There's the engineer's name and phone number. If you phone him, you have to work out where you're gonna, drop it off and what time you're gonna get there and what time he gets there." So I did phone him. I was 15 minutes away from dropping off. And he said, "Yep." He says, "We're 45 minutes away yet, mate." He says, "Probably 50 minutes." And I went, "Oh, right. Okay." I thought this could put the things in the mockers on it. I thought, hmm. And I says, "Well, I've got a pickup just down the road. I may go and pick that up first, then come back to you." I said, "'Cause it's only 6, 7 miles away, because you're not even going to be here." He said, "No, there's no one there. It's just us. So if you need a signature, you can't leave it anywhere." So it was only a heater. So I phoned the second job up, an engineer, because again I was in it, and I says, "How much stuff have you got to come back?" He said, "Oh, it's not mountains." He says, "It's about half a van load." And I went, "Great." So I shut off and picked that up. And yep, it was. It did infill half a van. It was motors, two other bits of kit that they hadn't used. There was stuff that was brand still in the box, and it goes back to the head office. So I got that on, put the heater on the back of the van, and I still got plenty of room, and went back. And when I got back to the Solworth Firth, where the four transmitter towers are, transmitter mast things are, they'd just got there. So it was perfect timing. Else I'd have been sat waiting, and I'd have been late on the second job. So it worked out all round okay. And off we went. Trundled through the Lake District to get to Penrith. Again, another fantastic drive. And I thought, make the most of this, because once you get on the M6, it's M6 all the way down to the A14, all the way. It's just sitting there bored. And we did, and got the job, and took it to. Eventually, I was going to take it to Daventry. Then the shipper phoned me up, and he said, "There is a slight change of plan." And I'm thinking, "Oh shit, where does he want me to go?" And he said, "Can you bring it to us in Wellingborough? And we're going to take it because we've got a good load to go there tonight anyway." He says, "If you want to bring it to us in Wellingborough, that'd be no problem." And I went, "Yep, that's brilliant." And I get the shipper's due, put another tenner on the job. And I live 8 miles from Wellingborough. So it was no real aggro for me. It was a few more miles, but it was just brilliant. I got finished yesterday, 3:30. I was done, unloaded, chatted with the shipper, who's a courier. He's got a fair few vans, and give him my card, because he says it's nice to know there's a one man. You do it. You don't sub work out. You do everything. He said, "Yeah, could have some work for you." So he took my card. Uh, and he said, I said, "Well, I'm on holiday now for 2 weeks." He said, "No, I'll give you a ring." He said, "Give us a ring when you're back. Let us know when you're back." He says, "And we could have." So we may have got contact as well. So all good. So that was my week. I forgot to mention the fuel prices, which I normally do. I'm excited. I'm going on holiday. My fuel prices have gone up. UK fuels has gone up. Both cards were within 0.04 of each other at 113. 113.1. That's gone up tuppence. So it's gone up threepence, three pence. Uh, and UK fuels has gone up across the board. And it's to do with oil OPEC, where they buy it. They're a month in advance. So when the fuel prices was not coming down and our fuel cards were down, now our fuel prices are going up and the fuel's coming down. So it's sort of a little bit out. It's sort of out of kilter, but that's what it is. It's still cheaper at 135, and fuel prices are 142, 443. So it's 7, 8 pence. And if you go to a motorway services, it's a lot dearer. So you're saving good money still. But that was the price of this week, and that was me done. A good week, 4 days over target, 3 out of the 4, and only £6 under target on the Monday, and I had to get back. So a really good week. I did 1,482 miles. Obviously, going to Scotland, it's a fair risk, but them last 2 days I did Scotland and back. I did 811 miles there and back. And again, it's risk and reward, Scotland, and I fluked. The luck was with me. I mean, who gets a job out of Carlisle? Not even Carlisle, the village 7 miles away from where I was, and it took me nearly home. Never going to happen again, I don't think, ever. But nice one. And I did 42 hours work over 4 days, so it was 10.5 hour days, and 32 hours driving in 4 days. So I averaged 8 hours a day driving, and I got 925 quid. And if you add the VAT on that, it makes it 1110. You take off the VAT, and it's 111 quid to them, which leaves me with a grand total of £999. Let's call it a grand, and that's my target for 5 days, and I've done it in four. 4 long days, tramped out one night. Beautiful place to tramp, so it didn't bother me. But a good week. So having today off doing all my bits and pieces, got loads to do. That's why it's only 8:10, and I'm cracking on after this. And yeah, it averaged out 250 quid a day. So I worked hard, managed to find work, and all good. Off now until 2 weeks on Tuesday. I won't be doing a blog from abroad because I don't take my laptop. My phone's normally off from all the crap and messages. I may do a quick one when I'm out there, YouTube on my phone, depends, we'll see. I'm going to take some photos and all that. But have a good 2 weeks. My next one will be 3 weeks' time because I'm back to work on the 5th. I think it's Tuesday the 5th I'm back. Like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. It don't cost anything. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. You can look back over the stuff I've done. It's all unedited. Anyone who watches me knows that I don't do all this fancy stuff with bloody pictures here and titles and all crap here. It's just me doing this, waffling and piffling. So, do you like the? This is our headboard. Well, this is our back of our on the bed. I am doing this. Have a good time, and hopefully see you in 2 and a bit weeks.